I'm Lisa Greenberg with some of your headlines. The memorial in Centennial Park honoring the victims of Hurricane Ian has been fully removed. Fox 4 was day the memorial went up in Fort Myers just weeks after the storm ripped through southwest Florida. Now, nearly 4 months later, the city says it had to take the memorial down. Its spokesperson says they plan on putting photos they took of the memorial in every city building. The city says it put pictures and other items from that memorial in storage. Family and friends have until February 1st to contact the city to get an item left on the wall. If they are interested to do that, we have the information for it on our website, fox4now.com. 41 out of 46 Upper Captiva firefighters were set to resign come 2023, but we're learning some of them will be staying on until March 1st. Fire Chief Jason Martin and 40 other crew members submitted resignation letters 2 weeks ago. In a statement to Fox 4, Chief Martin says there's no forecasted plan for 2023 to ensure public safety is not compromised. But the chairman of the Fire and Rescue Board of Commissioners says that's not the case. Duncan Rosen tells us 25 of the 40 crew members plan to stay until March 1st. He also says the Upper Captiva Fire District has had no major operational shortfalls. The board meets again on January 20th. Rosen says they'll answer questions or concerns about the resignations then. The deadline to set your hurricane debris on the curb in Lee County is less than a week away. Lee County Solid Waste says this is the last day is January 3rd, Tuesday. They say the deadline will help county staff better assess the needs for debris removal in the areas you see on your screen here. Now, if you live in other areas of unincorporated Lee County, a deadline to get your debris to the curb has not yet been set. So far, the county has collected more than 5 million cubic yards of debris in unincorporated Lee County.
And today we are going to be looking at another warm, sunny day. Temperatures back into the lower 80s again this afternoon. 83 Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, Fort Myers. Hey, how about 81 there down in Naples? Again, plenty of sunshine in the forecast for you through the day, despite a few clouds this morning. We'll clear those on out by the afternoon hours. Take a look at the 7-day forecast, though. We are going to be looking at more of the sunshine as we head in towards the weekend, and pretty nice conditions ahead of the next 7 days.
A different scene at Centennial Park.
We have the opportunity to pay tribute to the needs and the losses that we've all had.
The fence draped with photos, teddy bears, and flowers that sat on the edge of the Caloosahatchee River in remembrance of the lives lost during Hurricane Ian is now gone.
This is not something that we wanted to do in haste or quickly without thinking about it.
A decision to remove the memorial and leave behind this empty lot.
We wanted to find a way that we could sort of pay tribute to the memorial without necessarily having to keep the items here, because long-term that's not something that we could do.
The memorial had to be removed to transition back to normalcy, since the riverfront is an area of many festivals and events. Walking where the memorial used to be, Fort Myers City spokeswoman Liz Bello Matthews tells me this was a well-thought-out process, with the city making moves to return back to normal. They came up with a plan to memorialize the memorial in honor of the lives lost.
We're going to be displaying some of the images of the memorial at various city buildings. We took some very beautiful pictures of the memorial and, what people were doing here, and those who were replenishing those flowers and those who were praying for these families.
Mike Verdream was one of the victims memorialized on the wall. His niece tells me their family is still grieving, but as time passes, they are slowly finding peace. She couldn't go on camera, but she says she is happy the city will continue to honor the victims, in hopes there will be a memorial in one place for all of the lives lost from Ian.
We were so happy and proud to have it here, and we want to make sure that it's not, it doesn't go without being remembered.
Let me get this open all the way. Yeah, a lot of different property. Looks like a bag of hockey equipment.
Now in this storage unit at the Sanibel Police Department.
Chainsaws, obviously alcohol, a miter saw, compressor, golf clubs.
Sanibel Police Chief William Dalton says
this was a very unique case.
Starting after a Cape Coral police report says an officer was investigating a stolen car in early November.
Then a woman said we were legitimately out on Sanibel working, and we used that as an opportunity to steal things also.
Dalton says they found all this property in the storage unit the couple was living in.
And I guess either on the way home each day, they would just help themselves to other people's property.
Now it's here.
Yeah, we still haven't, determined who owns any of this stuff.
And without a victim, Dalton says they can't prosecute the couple.
Oh, that's pretty frustrating. You'd like to be able to, to arrest someone if they've stolen other people's property.
That's why Dalton hopes you'll come forward.
We're trying to reunite this property with its rightful owners, and we really haven't had much success in that so far.
Now, because we lost so much in the storm, you may not have paperwork to prove that some of this stuff is yours, but Sanibel Police says that you can come forward with maybe a photo to prove that you do own the property.
We'll hold on to it for as long as we can and see if we can identify an owner.
The owner of this trombone, a computer, a bike, someone's belongings in this storage unit.
I would think it would probably be more reuniting, and we'd be happy to do it.
Reporting on Sanibel Island, Caitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
A suspect is in custody in connection to the killings of 4 University of Idaho students. Brian Koberger was arrested Friday in northeastern Pennsylvania. Authorities say they received more than 20,000 tips in connection to the crime. They would not say which tips, if any, helped end the 6-week-long manhunt.
These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students. However, we do believe justice will be found through the criminal process.
At a press conference Friday, police declined to release any new details about a possible motive. The suspect is being held without bond, and he will be back in court next week. Southwest Airlines is flying smoothly again. The airline only canceled about 1% of its Friday schedule, according to FlightAware. It does not have any cancellations planned for the weekend. Southwest came under fire this week from passengers and regulators after winter weather and system issues caused the airline to cancel more than 15,000 flights. Southwest leaders have promised to cover expenses for anyone whose flight was impacted. Stocks closed out the year on a sour note, falling about 0.25% in Friday trading. It ended a difficult year for investors. The Dow Jones lost almost 10% of its value in 2022, the biggest one-year drop since the financial crisis back in 2008.
Illinois is the latest state taking steps to eliminate cash bail in the new year. A law was to go into effect January 1st that would get rid of cash bail statewide. But court challenges late this week have now put that in limbo. The focus on bail reform comes from disparities discovered by studying bail over the past few decades. The U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, which is a bipartisan agency, put out a report this year. It cites a study comparing men with the same charges and criminal background. It found black men receive 35% higher bail amounts than white men, and Latino men receive bail amounts 19% higher than white men. Of course, the higher the amount, the less likely someone is able to pay, and they end up waiting for their trial behind bars.
There's been no determination of guilt when the bail amount is set. So to state implicitly that someone who has more money or more wealth is more deserving of their freedom than someone who just can't afford to pay this amount is highly unfair.
The Commission on Civil Rights study found as many as 74% of people in jails right now are awaiting trial. Stephanie Wiley with the Brennan Center for Justice says the effects of that are far-reaching.
Being detained in jail can lead to some chronic illnesses. It can lead to psychological trauma, like we discussed. It can lead to loss of employment, from being able to attend work. It can also affect access to housing.
Now, it is important to note some other states that implemented bail reform, like New York and Alaska, have since rolled it back, citing an increase in crime.
Many of us have faced sickness in some way in 2022, starting with COVID in January and the surge caused by winter indoor gatherings and the Omicron variant. In May, the U.S. hit a grim milestone, 1 million COVID deaths.
I'm like the sole survivor for my immediate family.
We're ending the year on the worst flu season in a decade and a so-called triple-demic that includes RSV. RSV's caused the highest number of children hospitalizations since the CDC began tracking it in 2018.
This has been the hardest week probably of my whole life.
Our youngest suffered from a baby formula shortage caused by supply chain issues and a massive recall. May and June, many parents faced empty shelves and panic.
As a first-time mom, only 4 months in, I never thought I'd be wondering if I could feed my child.
May also saw the U.S.'s first case of Mpox, a virus previously called monkeypox. Cases spread globally. It would be early August when the CDC declared the outbreak a public health emergency. healthcare worker shortages continued impacting how many beds hospitals could fill.
We are down, I would say, several thousand hospital staff members in Virginia. There are openings at hospitals across the Commonwealth.
In June, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled on Dobbs v. Jackson's Women's Health Organization. The case overturned Roe v. Wade and Planned Parenthood v. Casey. It eliminated the constitutional right to abortion. From the political fight to patient care, since then, doctors and patients have struggled with abortion care access, questions about medical emergencies, and prescription medications connected to abortion.
But some pharmacists in some states are refusing to stock or dispense methotrexate and other drugs.
Think about being in a scenario where we can't offer evidence-based care is horrifying.
Horrifying to hopeful. The year also showed us health innovation. In January, doctors accomplished transplanting a gene-edited pig heart into a 57-year-old man. Later this year, researchers studied pig kidney transplants. Hospitals rolled out transfusion treatments where otherwise unhealthy organs could be used. In March, scientists finished mapping the entire human genome, a benchmark that can impact future health research and treatments. In August, the FDA authorized updated COVID boosters aimed at providing protection from Omicron strains. September saw the first new ALS drug in 5 years.
This is an opportunity to be a good entry-level type of product for people that have been putting off getting help.
As we round the corner to 2023, robots, AI, and virtual or augmented reality will continue to shape tomorrow's medical care. Care will chart along as it unfolds.
Welcome to Drag Queen Story Hour.
Since Drag Story Hour first launched back in 2015 in San Francisco, the events have faced criticism, but it hasn't slowed growth. Today, drag performers are reading to children in libraries, schools, businesses, and public places in all 50 states and internationally. That's according to the nonprofit.
It's okay to be a unicorn.
But this year, controversy escalated, with right-wing and hate groups, armed protesters, and some peaceful demonstrators showing up at drag events all over the U.S. and Canada. A few venues canceled Story Hour, citing safety concerns over threatening messages and detailed plans of disruptions. Arrests were made recently related to vandalism at a New York City Council member's home who openly supported an event.
Since the insurrection, things have really ramped up to a point where it's been beyond First Amendment rights and has turned into stormings and hate crimes and just blatant homophobia and transphobia.
The executive director of Drag Story Hour says they've had to rework safety protocols and collaborated with the Anti-Violence Project to come up with new contingency plans in case the event attendees feel unsafe. LGBTQ advocacy organization GLAAD has been tracking media reports of anti-drag incidents. They found more than 140 in 47 states. Most were during Pride celebrations in June, but have branched out to drag story times over the last 6 months.
The world is changing, and I think that is disrupting folks who want to keep marginalized folks marginalized.
GLAAD's president and CEO says social media is allowing anti-LGBTQ groups to better organize. Some conservative politicians are also stepping in, introducing bills in at least 6 states aimed at stopping public drag performances or keeping them away from kids.
It is illegal to take your child to a strip club, and yet we're going to allow a drag show that has blatantly explicit sexual activity taking place in a public park where kids are present.
This followed hundreds of other anti-LGBTQ bills and pushes to ban books addressing diversity.
They feel like people who share values of openness, of tolerance, of acceptance, of joy are taking over, and for some reason they're worried about that.
Then in November came the massacre at Club Q. that killed 5 people. A gay club where people said they once felt safe. Now the accused shooter is facing hate crime charges. After the mass shooting, the Department of Homeland Security issued a bulletin mentioning the LGBTQ community was a target of heightened domestic terrorist threats.
Then we will hear from Ms. Olivia Hunt.
And in December, Congress heard testimony from scholars about damage these sort of attacks and discrimination can cause.
Studies have concluded that minority stress experienced by LGBTQ people can result in an array of mental health problems, including depressive symptoms, substance use, and suicide ideation and attempt.
But for a community that's always dealt with bullying and exclusion, they encourage people to educate themselves and not be influenced by the actions of a few.
And our love and support for our program outweighs all the hate that you see.
I'm Michelle London reporting.
Hershey is facing a lawsuit over its dark chocolate. The suit filed this week claims Hershey did not disclose the amount of heavy metals, including lead, in its dark chocolate. Consumer Reports recently found high levels of lead in 82% of the dark chocolate products it tested. Hershey has not commented. January will bring an 8.7% cost of living adjustment for the 70 million Americans who receive Social Security. The average benefit payment will go up more than $140. It's the largest increase in 40 years. Tesla shareholders are hoping for a smoother ride in 2023. The electric car maker's stock lost 70% of its value this year, a drop that cost CEO Elon Musk his status as the world's richest man. According to Forbes, Musk is only worth about $146 billion, placing him second on the billionaires list.
Good morning, meteorologist Andrew Shipley, and we're looking at another warm, sunny day out there across southwest Florida today on your Friday. About 83 degrees, Punta Gorda, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, 86 there in Immokalee, 81 in Naples, even 82 down in Marco Island, 80 out in Clewiston for you today as we continue to see this warm-up trend continue from the 40s last Sunday, back in the 80s yesterday. We're going to continue to stay in the 80s today and through the holiday weekend. In terms of this morning, though, we got a few clouds around. Those will start to break on up by the afternoon hours and back to the sunshine. But tonight we will see us cloud back up. We'll also be tracking some areas of fog developing overnight heading in towards your Saturday morning. Otherwise, Saturday looking like a pretty nice day as well. Sunshine in the afternoon hours, 81 degrees there. Little front moves through, brings us a little bit more clouds on Sunday, 80 degrees, but we'll warm back up on Monday, Tuesday, back into the 80s. So another chance to maybe some showers around Wednesday and Thursday.
She played on my naivety and my loneliness.
Bridget Huddleston thought she'd have a new puppy to start the new year. She found one for sale in an online Facebook group and arranged with the seller to pick it up at the airport. But when she got there,
The man told me, he said, I have no idea what you're even talking about. There are no pets here at all.
at the airport.
At the airport.
There was no dog. Bridget lost $200 falling victim to the puppy scam. Experts with the Better Business Bureau
We do see so many scams and so many people losing so much money.
say the puppy scam is just one in a long list of scams that target people trying to get a fresh start. If weight loss is your goal in the new year, the BBB's Sarah Wetzel says beware of products or free trials that promise quick results.
10 pounds a week, 20 pounds a week, let that be a red flag, because in reality, you're probably not going to get those results.
If you're trying to get some more money in your bank account in 2023, Sarah says watch out for employment scams, where the job offer turns out to be fake. Also watch out for investment scams, where a scammer promises big rewards if you put your money into some company or project.
Unfortunately, with investment scams, you may not find out until years later that you've been victim of a scam.
Lastly, you want to avoid phishing scams, fraudulent messages designed to grab your attention and get your personal information. Like this fake email Stephen Casper received about a free gift from Costco.
Congratulations, I've been selected for an exclusive reward.
No gift, no reward, nothing but a scam.
They're pretending to be somebody that they're not.
The best advice this new year? Think before you click and question why anyone other than yourself would need your personal information. That way you don't waste your money. I'm John Matarese.
While some anteaters and orangutans are recognized to sometimes walk on their knuckles, knuckle walking is the primary form of movement for chimpanzees, bonobos, and gorillas. As chimpanzees and bonobos walk around, they will extend their arms, flatten out their hands, and curl in the knuckle, while gorillas keep their arms straighter. An ape's body is adapted to climb trees and walk on the ground. To be able to do both of these forms of motion, they've evolved to have long arms and short legs. The long arms allow them to grasp from branch to branch, but chimpanzees and more so gorillas are now spending over 80% of their time walking on the ground. Even with such a major portion being spent below the vines, their anatomy still has these long arms though because of their ancestors. The reason for knuckle walking lies in Newton's third law of motion. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. When we walk, we apply force backward on the ground by pushing the ground with our feet, and following Newton's law, the same force is used by the ground in the opposite direction. So in this case, it'll be the forward direction, and this makes us able to move. If we take these same physics and apply them to apes, walking with just 2 feet would be quite difficult. You see, chimps and gorillas have large bodies. For instance, the average male gorilla weighs 400 pounds. As a result of this heaviness, they have trouble dissipating the energy exerted from the ground. Knuckle walking helps them move their weight around. Since their front legs are longer for climbing, when they get up on their knuckles, it shortens up their front legs and provides better balance. Now let's go back to looking at us as an example. When we run, we are pushing down with a lot of force on the ground, which again, following Newton's law, means the ground is pushing up at an equal force. That would be a lot of force for our body to take, but we have a unique adaptation with having arched feet. That simple arch serves as a shock absorber. Without this, long walks or runs would greatly damage our bones and joints in our feet and legs. Gorillas and chimps don't have arches, so their feet are flat, but they have adapted torsos that are triangular shaped. This adapted shape is vital for knuckle walking, as it serves as their form of a shock absorber, like our arches in our feet. Whether they're swinging on vines, jumping, knuckle walking, or walking upright, every animal seems to know just the right way to get from one place to the other.